So as stated in the previous video, I hadn't cleaned my filter for probably 6 months or so. Took it out and there was a lot of sludge in the actual filter. Hey, what's going on guys? This is Joey Young coming at you another video for the week. So today I'm going to be continuing the experiment I did last week. So as you can see, this week the actual tank is actually fairly clean. Now a lot of you guys are probably thinking I went ahead and actually cleaned my filter and this is what happened. And I did clean my filter because I decided not to add any more Nerad snails because eventually, you know, the algae will run out and the Nerad snails will have nothing to eat. So as stated in the previous video, I hadn't cleaned my filter for probably 6 months or so. Took it out and there was a lot of sludge in the actual filter, but surprisingly it wasn't that dirty. Now the one thing I did swap out in the filter was the carbon. The carbon, you know, was expired in terms of it's just been in the tank forever and it needed to be swapped out anyways. Now I only have 6 days of footage, but here is the tank from day 1 to day 6 after the filter change and the carbon swap. Now as you can see here, the progression of the algae seems to kind of go down a little bit, but actually it kind of stagnates after day 4 and actually remains the same. So adding Nerad snails couldn't really help the algae. Cleaning my filter didn't really help the algae. So you guys are probably wondering, how did I clean my tank then? Well, I just went back to the basic scraping, you know, the side walls and just kind of doing a normal water change. So normally this is how the tank would come out, you know, within a week, and then the next week it will be covered up in algae again. So what's interesting here is if you look at the side walls, I actually kept the side walls and didn't scrape them because I wanted to show you guys after the filter change, a week, you know, approximately a week later, this is what it looks like. It still remains the same. And of course all the snails are cleaned into the areas where they have the most algae because now there's only certain areas that actually have algae for them to feed on. I guess this is where they're gonna be focusing most of their energy in anyways. So coming back to the original issue with the tank having algae. Now obviously I did not solve the issue other than just scraping it because I've been already doing that. I still need to figure out what's going on. So the next experiment I want to try out is to kind of do more frequent water changes in this tank to see if it actually helps reduce the algae on the sidewalls. That's not really ideal for me, but for the purpose of the experiment, I kind of want to see if frequent water changes will actually help with the algae reduction. But for me, I actually want to only do a weekly water change or a bi-weekly water change in this actual aquarium. So I need to figure out another alternative. In the previous video, I mentioned that I think it's due to the light, and really it's a combination of two things. It's one, the light, plus the types of plants that I have in the tank. So the types of plants I have in the tank don't really grow fast. They don't really consume or kind of spread out far enough so that it actually can kind of cover the tank and kind of outcompete the algae. So right now the algae on the side walls actually outcompete the actual plants. So a couple things that I might want to change up is add in plants that actually will thrive and actually grow much faster than the actual algae growth in the tank. So right now I have a couple plants in mind and I might attempt to try it out. As you can see up front here, I'm trying to grow a nice carpet of plants so they actually can kind of like cover the whole floor with just plants. And in the back there, I might pull up some of the Aereo Vietnams and replace them with long stem plants. So right now I'm just really glad that I actually can see my fish. As you know, before you couldn't really see them at all. They're just literally just behind this shield of greenness. So while we're at it, you know, we're looking at the Altums. I kind of want to show you guys a size comparison of the Altums in terms of how big they've grown since, you know, I've actually added them into the tank. So here's my hand comparison. I'm gonna slowly go towards the tank because they're actually skittish. But as you can see, some of them are almost the length of my hand, which is ridiculous. And those are the original ones that I had in the tank. I had 6 original ones, but 3 of them kind of died, and then 3 of the remaining ones, which are the bigger ones in this tank, are the original OGs, and then we have the 6 new ones, which are slightly smaller, but they're actually growing pretty fast. But as you can see, they're, you know, growing really, really nice. All right, guys, I hope you guys like the experiment. I'm going to continue trying to do the experiment to try to figure out, you know, what I can do to kind of combat the algae. But if you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys are subscribed. Like always, until next time, guys, peace.